Hello, I'm Grace. Employment trends, a core indicator of the South Korean economy in May 2026, are casting an unexpected dark shadow. Despite the positive outlook from the explosive growth of the semiconductor industry, the total number of employed persons recorded a decline. This marks the first decrease in nearly 1 year and 5 months, since December 2024. The total number of employed persons aged 15 and over was 29.12 million, down by 40,000 from the same month last year. The employment rate, a concurrent indicator, also fell 0.5 percentage points to 63.3%. With the employment rate declining for 2 consecutive months, it showed the sharpest drop since February 2021. Given the lagging nature of employment data, these indicators are interpreted as signals of cooling economic activity. The manufacturing sector, unaffected by the semiconductor boom, suffered a shock with a loss of 140,000 jobs. This reduction, more than double the previous month's decline, reveals fractures in the industrial structure. Since semiconductors account for only 4% of total manufacturing employment, weakness in other sectors dragged the overall figure down. Exports from major manufacturing industries with high employment multipliers, such as automobiles and machinery, have contracted. Surging oil prices due to heightened tensions in the Middle East and instability in raw material supply were primary factors. Additionally, disruptions in parts supply caused by a factory fire in Daejeon further worsened manufacturing production activities. Employment conditions for the youth are even more severe, recording the largest decline since the COVID-19 pandemic. Employment among people in their 20s fell by 255,000, with the employment rate dropping by 2.4 percentage points. This is the sharpest decline since January 2021, making the triple pressure on youth employment a reality. The result stems from a combination of industrial structural changes, a preference for experienced hires, and economic contraction. Conversely, the elderly population aged 60 and over increased by 171,000, somewhat supporting the labor market. This trend is drawing attention as an indicator that an abnormal employment structure is deepening. The government plans to implement support for high oil price damages and Youth New Deal measures through supplementary budget adjustments. However, the possibility of a protracted war in the Middle East makes it difficult to predict the pace of economic recovery. As the limits of an export-led growth model become apparent, policies to stimulate domestic demand and the service sector are urgently needed. The key question is whether future employment stabilization measures will yield real effects or merely result in a temporary rebound. It appears urgent to prepare long-term employment strategies tailored to industrial structural transformation rather than relying solely on short-term support. I'm Grace, thanks for watching.